Hey guys, and welcome back to Common Courtesy. I'm your host, Sean Nicholas, aka Desire Some More, and we have a great show for you tonight. We are talking tea about Ellen. We are talking about the reaction of the Rock the Blue mural in Tampa, and we also have a live musical guest for you guys tonight. So let's get to our co-host. Next to me, I have Nikki Prue. Nikki, how you doing, babe?
I'm good. How are you?
Hanging in there, trying to look cute still. Next
You're
to her,
looking
we
cute as
have
always.
Thank you. Thank you. I try. I spent like 30 minutes on this. So next to her, we have Courtney Harbach. Courtney, how you doing, bae?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, you look gorge. I love the hair. Yeah.
Thank you. It took me like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Up close, it actually does not look that good.
That's how I feel about
phenomenal.
Right. That's how I feel like about my drag makeup. Like literally, like far away, I look fantastic, but up close, you can see the lines. Under me, we have Stephen Gilbreth of the Air Fresheners. How you
What's
doing,
up, guys? I'm good. It's good to be back as always.
Yes, you looking fresh. Yeah,
I had to spice it up. I had to make up for the fact that I'm not drinking for your episodes for a while. All my personalities in the shirt
and
now.
It's must be paid.
Yeah,
I've picked up your habit. It's fine.
Yeah.
And next to Stephen, we have Angelique Young. Angelique, how you doing, babe?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. The gang's all here. Yay!
Yay! Oh, I'm having fun. So, like, anything crazy has been happening with anyone this weekend? Anything new? Any new movies, like series you've been getting into?
Bro. Outlander. Like
that's such a good show.
One of my classmates, she stays with me during the week because she lives in Gainesville, and she got me on Outlander, and she heard me say that. She's in the other room. She's like, hell yeah. Outlander, I've been binge watching that. And then I got super drunk and drank a bottle of tequila, and that was very fun.
That was eventful.
It was.
Angelique, how was your the rest of your trip and your stay in LA?
Oh, it was amazing. The last 2 days I did absolutely nothing, especially after getting absolutely shit faced on the show last week, which I continue to drink after the show. But no, it was really cool. My friends, I love LA right now. People are like freaking out about like with the pandemic and stuff, but it's so quiet and it's so easy to go to a restaurant and sit down and be like spaced out, and you can be with your friends and have like private personal conversations. And it was just so good. And I always love my visits to LA. They're always fun. But when I came home, I binge watched Her, and I binge watched The Umbrella Academy. And so and it was so good. So Curse is a really good show. If you like that mythology kind of stuff, it's going to be really good for you. If you can stomach some bad visual effects, you'll be good for the show. The show itself is really good. It's nice. I love Catherine Langford, who plays the lead. It's really, really good. And Umbrella Academy, I've been sold since season 1. I've watched them multiple times. So
yes. Nikki, how about you?
Honestly, I went so long just binging show after show after show. I haven't watched anything new in a little while. I did recently just rewatch the Harry Potter movies just because who doesn't want to do that once in a while? And but aside from that, I've had some car troubles over the weekend, made some new stuff for my shop, and otherwise it's been fairly uneventful.
Yeah, well, I got some. I bought some of your earrings this week, and I got them.
And I finally got them over to you. I'm so sorry it took so long.
No, it's fine, but it's a secret. It's for my niece. I can't tell her about it yet. She's leaving next week, so we're gonna hide that. Steven, how about you? What's been going on with you?
Just spending a lot of quality time with like my closest friends, building those like connections a little bit tighter. And my new job is like picking up more than I've ever seen it. Like last month, I think I had 9 or 10 deals for the whole month, and this weekend I had 10 deals come in alone. So I'm going to be super busy and super happy in about a month from now. So I mean, already happy now, but yeah, it's just been good. I'm just working on the work and just trying to get my health in order and just cutting out drinking for 90 days and being a responsible adult.
Cool beans. You know what? Speaking of being a responsible adult, we're going to move on really fast. So I've been like, going out or like if I ever leave the house late at night, like just to go study somewhere, like at maybe Ferg, something like that. My niece and nephew will come running up to me. They're like, Uncle Sean, where are you going? So I came up with this story.
Oh no, I can't wait to hear what this story is.
Well, like, so you know how you tell your kids about Santa, right? So I decided to tell them every time I'm going out somewhere, because usually sometimes I was in drag or anything like that. I told them I was a superhero, right?
I love it already.
The reason why they can't come with me is, there's danger. I'm gonna go meet Batman, and now every time I leave the house, my little niece, she's in the other room. She's always asking, can I get the cell phone number to Batman? I'm like, no, and she thinks this like little like trinket on my arm. It's like it's my star sign. She thinks it's my like Power Rangers morpher. Okay, she doesn't just think it. I told her that.
Like, no lie, I might steal that.
That's
No,
the cutest thing.
well, no, she
It's
did.
way better than the
I'm
lies that
actually
my
Wonder
aunts and
Woman.
uncles told me.
Steal it because you know what, right? Because it's better. I don't know because I don't want to tell them the truth. They're so young and impressionable. And one time my niece stole my little like ring, right? Oh, you got
Power
one
Rangers,
too? Yes, Steven.
What?
Yes.
superheroes.
Look at that.
Superheroes, right? So one time she
Kindred
stole it.
spirits.
One time she stole it after my I was taking a shower and she's like, look, I'm gonna transform. How do I do it? It was a whole big nothing. But anyways, let's move on to our guests. Coming up right now, this is someone who's very close to the show and extremely talented. Everyone put your hands together for our musical guest, Mckenna Allen. Yes. Hello, McKenna.
Hi guys.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
We're all good. I'm good. I'm good. I just, so you're coming into us live from where again, actually?
Kalispell, Montana.
Okay. I love how this works all over all over the country, but we're gonna get into your music in a second. But first we want to get to know you a little bit. First, I want to know, when did you pick up the guitar and when did this all start for you? Just to get started.
The first time I picked up a guitar was probably like in the 8th grade. I remember my dad had this old Spanish style guitar that he used to play, and I was never like super into instruments, but I just started playing it, and then eventually my parents bought me a guitar and I just started learning and it clicked super fast. So yeah, for probably I want to say 10 years I've been playing.
We can see that in your music. We're gonna play it later, but first I'm gonna go to the panel for a round of questions. Let's start with Nikki. Nikki, let's start with you.
McKenna, first off, I mean, it goes without saying, but you have a beautiful voice and you are insanely talented. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your music with us. I guess my question is just kind of, do you prefer to do you want to do something with like the vocal skills that you have, or are you happy or just kind of keeping it like a personal happiness? You know what I mean? Like, do you want to take it out there really, or like you have a preference either way, kind of? Because I mean, and I know a lot of people who can really sing really well and they play guitar have one, they either want to go all the way or they're like, would you be open to, if somebody were to discover you and put you out there kind of thing?
I lost you guys there for just a second, but can you repeat the first part of your question? I'm sorry.
No, I was basically just asking, so like as far as your singing goes, is this something that you want to like move forward and do like just that, or do you prefer to keep it? Is it just like kind of like a personal thing that you like to do?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, I would love to move forward with it. I'm studying music production right now, and I haven't been in it for very long at all. I have a very underdeveloped sound, but yeah, if that were to happen, I would absolutely go for it. It's like my main passion.
That's awesome. No, that's kind of what I was. I mean, it just sounds like it in your voice when you sing. Like you can hear that passion. And I mean, I would be really, really surprised if you didn't go to huge places with it because you really have a very rare talent.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'm
Thank
just being
you.
honest. Thank you for coming on. Really.
So let's do Courtney, your older sister. Courtney, if you had a question, what would you ask your sister? Well, you know her so well.
I mean, I know her very well, and I only have one question for her. Who's your favorite sister?
That would be my sister's.
Are they gonna watch this?
She's not gonna answer that. But we all know it's me. It's fine. It's totally fine. You don't have to say anything.
Angelique, let's go to you.
Okay, so something I've come to find, like with all like local, like artists who are like starting or like getting their gears rolling, I guess I could say, if you could like amass anything, if you could like make yourself something, what would you want your mark to be? What would you want like your genre of music to be? Tell us a little bit about who you hope to become as a musical artist.
The genre that I feel like I can do the best in is sort of like blues rock. I really like psychedelic rock. But with my music, if I were to have an influence in any sort of way, I just want to spread positivity and just be able to share my experiences with other people and have someone they can relate to as well.
I love that. Yes. Oh my God, I love it. Are you sure you don't want to try out for any of these different shows? You've got a great like whole to you. I love it.
Yeah, seriously,
I watch you all day on television. That was great.
Her vibe is like hands down the best. So sweet, so loving, so like heartwarming.
If I had one
Seriously,
genuine.
Like it's coming through.
Oh yeah.
Like straight.
Yeah, I like Lucy. I love it. Oh my God.
Oh, I know.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys.
So Steven, let's go to you.
What's been the hardest mental challenges you've faced in the process of becoming good at your talent? And then to finish that off, actually to start that off, what's your zodiac sign?
Oh.
She's off limits, Steven.
I did not.
No,
I did not
I'm
hear
just
any
curious.
of that. I'm sorry. Is your mic muted?
Steven, can you repeat that for her?
Yeah, I said, so what's been the hardest mental challenges you faced?
I still can't hear him.
Oh, he said, what has been the hardest mental challenges you faced? And what's
in
your zodiac?
developing your talent?
The hardest mental challenge.
The hardest mental challenge is talent.
In developing your talent, Ken.
So I would definitely say it's comparing myself to other people, as I'm friends with a lot of musicians and some producers, and it's really intimidating when everybody seems to have way more talent or knowledge than you. I just kind of have to get over that and just believe in myself. And I'm a Taurus.
Okay.
Smooth transition.
Just curious. I'm just curious where like all the good vibes and like creativity and stuff come from. I was just curious.
Comes from her heart.
All right. So without further ado, we're gonna play your song. Just tell us just a little bit about it before we start.
So the song is called Lucifer. I wrote it. This is probably the most recent one I wrote, probably like a month ago. And it's about it's the main idea of it is suicide. It's kind of heavy, but I didn't write it in a heavy way. Where I came up with the idea was I was in Taiwan living there for a year, and I was on this, I lived on the top, like 7th story of an apartment building. And I remember that was probably one of the like darkest times of my life. And that specific circumstance. And I was looking down out the window, and I remember thinking just like, I wish I could fly right now. And it was just, it was really heavy. And I kind of realized like that was a struggle for me in the moment. And when I was writing it, I just wanted to pull from that place where I felt like there was something calling me out of this world, but I wanted to stay in it.
Okay, so we're gonna start this song in just 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, this is McKenna Allen with Lucifer.
I'm floating in the middle of nowhere. You said some deeper, you'll be mine. I'm asked for this distraction, so I still apply. Needs to cover your eyes. The shadows say my name like they've known me since the day I've died. Makes me feel a little shy, but I'll give it. Can you breathe? Can you see? Can you feel? Is it me? Do you want to know what it's like to fly? Take a step, not a glance. Maybe this is my chance to be free. Whispers in my ear, honey, got you now. 6 feet under the warrior sound. Took your pretty light and it's in my hands. Now grab my arm, child. It's time to dance. Joy you give me makes me sick. Short-lived indifference, and I'm back. I don't care too much. I don't care enough. Maybe I'm standing too high. Can you breathe? Can you see? Can you feel? Is it me? Do you want to know what it's like to fly? Take a step, not a glance. Maybe this is my chance to be free. I wanna fly. In my hands. Now grab my arm, child. It's time to dance. Chuckled in my ear as he was walking away. Left me in the dark more alone. Smooth voice turned to needles as it touched my skin. One day I'll wake up and get out of this pit. One day I'll wake up and get out of this pit.
You know what?
Yeah, I know yours.
After hearing the background behind that song, for me, it's just such a deeper meaning. And you kind of really took me there with your words. And said you wrote that a month ago. Wow.
Insane to me.
It's I so real quick, McKenna, when she started singing, this child would not let anybody hear her. She would sing quietly in her room, and we'd like try to sneak in with our phones and like videotape her. She thought she was terrible. She had no idea how amazing that she was. And I have not heard her. I did not know that she wrote that song. This is brand new to me. And like honestly, like, oh my God, here I am. I'm like starting to tear up. Like
Nikki, let's go to you. You're feeling a lot of.
Yeah, let's go to you. Thanks, Sean.
Sorry, but how are you feeling? Share.
Well, I'm gonna kind of reiterate what you just said about hearing the backstory to the song. I already thought it was a really beautiful song. Oh, I hate you, Sean. Right now.
It's okay. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's okay. We're gonna.
No, it's okay. I'm fine. But just hearing that, thank you so much for sharing that. Because, like, honestly, I can't imagine the emotions you were feeling, but it resulted in such a beautiful, like, literal work of art. So you should be so proud.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me.
And I'm sorry that I'm being an emotional maniac about it. Sean.
We'll blame it on our fluctuating hormones.
I'm just kidding.
Well,
I just keep crying.
For me, I'll just say, you never know what you're gonna get when you have an artist. You give them free reign, and this is the work. I can tell the work that she's put in, and I see that it works because we are all sitting in our houses across America, and all of us have tears. Steven, how did you feel after that? And then we're going to go to Angela.
Honestly, like, beautiful. I love that style of music. I grew up listening to a lot of stuff like that. And like hearing the backstory behind it, it just gave like a whole new meaning to that. And like beautiful voice, beautiful guitar playing. Like I would definitely download a majority of, if probably all your songs on Spotify. I listen to them on a regular basis. It's great. Yeah.
Angela,
like 4 new friends, like I can't even imagine right now. No, oh my God, like I'm so emotional right now on so many levels. So first of all, I love when you're in it and you're singing and you're playing the guitar and I love the way your hand stroke goes. Like you have this thing where you close your eyes and I can tell that you're so into the music that you're singing. Like I could feel everything you were feeling, and it's so funny to hear it. I've watched the video so many times prior to you giving the explanation. So up until you gave the explanation, I was like, oh my God, I love this song. The song is so I don't know why I relate to it so much or why I feel so connected to the song. And then you explained it and I listened to it again and I'm like, this is so relatable because I know exactly that feeling. I've been in that spot before where you have this kind of this dance with this idea, but in your head, the idea, if you follow it, it's not going to end the way you want it. And then when you come to it, you're like, I'd rather stay here. But in the same hand, like that end of the song, you say a line about, I know I'll get out of this bed. Like, it was like a reality, like the whole thing is like this whole kind of like dreamscape fantasy. And you realize that. And you kind of like in this kind of state where you're in your bed and you're like, well, I guess I'll get out of this eventually. Like I'll figure this out. That fucked me up in the best way ever. Like I love that. Like that, I don't know. You are an absolutely fantastic artist. I don't know if you've ever listened to Joss Stone. Joss Stone does the Soul Sessions. And her second Soul Session, the second or third one of them, she has a song called The High Road. And it's a cover of an older song, but the way the instruments are played and the musicality, that's the word I'm looking for of it. The way you play the guitar, I felt like you could have literally been in that. Like you are so fucking talented and you are so amazing. I literally am over here like trying my best not to fuck up my mascara because I didn't put on my waterproof one. So I was like, it's right here, your eyes, and I'm like, no, bitch, don't do it because if I wipe it, I'm gonna look like the crying lady. Like, no, so fucking talented, so amazing. Please do not ever be scared, ashamed, or fearful of your talent, of your voice, of your skills, because you are skilled. Literally, such a fucking force, and you need to share that with everybody in your songwriting skills. Oh my god, like you made me skip and dance to a song I had no idea was gonna fuck my life up. Like I was so happy with it before it, and now I'm so happy with it. Don't get me wrong, but like I take it with a whole new grain of salt. Like it's so good. Please be proud of yourself. Please be proud of all your progress. You're way better than you give yourself credit for. You said something earlier along the lines of you're not ready, or like you said something like you for your level or something. And I can't quote you exactly, but it's on the video. But that is so not true. You are so talented, and you have like 3 things that any singer dies for: a voice, the ability to play an instrument, and songwriting ability. So please continue. Please do what you're doing. You're amazing. I'm so glad. Courtney, I'm gonna probably go to Montana and stay your sister. It's totally fine.
Bring her back to me.
My favorite, but I might have to steal her. It's totally fine.
Okay, well, as long as you bring her here, I'm totally fine with it. Like I'm totally fine with it. Like this, like, all of my sisters have.
I'm like sweating. Oh my god, I love it. Like it's such a weird vibe. I don't know if you've never done something and it makes you sweat. That's like such a good sign. Like I don't know, I love it. Sorry.
That song is already played back in my head like 6 times since the last time I heard it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Like I can't every single time that I see her sing and I get videos and like every time Snapchats, all of it. Like she blows my mind. The way that she has progressed throughout the years is absolutely like I can't even explain it because there's really like I don't have the videos that I had when she was singing in the dining room playing on my dad's rinky-dink little guitar. Like I mean, she has progressed so much, and like her personality and her spirit and like everything about her, like it
shines through.
Singing, like you can feel you through your song. Like like I said, the word for you to describe you is fucking genuine. It is literally
absolutely.
And that's one thing that, like, also as well, just to add to Angelique, that's one thing that you need as an artist is to be truly genuine. And Mckenna, like, you have it. Like, it's so rare that you hear someone that's young and talented, that's skilled and worked on something on their own without being told. And to be able to produce something that can reach across the internet and touch, 5, adults. Because I cried. I was crying when I heard it because I know everyone was crying, but like everyone just said, like be proud of yourself and never be afraid because you really have a true, genuine talent, and that is rare to find. Just keep going. Like hats off.
Yeah, like honestly, you have to give yourself so much credit. Like you literally have to share this with so many more people. You don't know how many people you could help. Like as a person who is I don't like to call myself a victim, but I'm a suicide survivor. So as someone like that, hearing a song like this, if I had this kind of pull me back to reality when I was in my dark space, that would have been amazing. So like, definitely do not be afraid to share that with the world, with everyone, anybody. Like, I mean, I hate to be that person. Like if you were the person who handed me a mixtape on Long Beach, I would have been like, yeah, let me listen to it. Like, because you just have this genuine light about you. Like people are gonna buy into anything you sell. Like you are humble pie, and I can't wait to every last bit of it. I love it.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Mckenna, please, thank you. You have to come back and share more of your music with us because, like I said,
and put all your information. Like, give us your Instagram, your Snapchat, all your stuff. Post all that under in the comments so that people can follow you and they can learn to love you just as much as we have in the fucking past 5 minutes. I feel like I've known you my whole life.
Right.
It's totally fine. It's great.
That's all it takes, and you have to come back, please, because we need. I am invested in you because I'm definitely buying your album when it drops. I first heard it, I'm like, I'm buying this girl's album, like dead ass.
Listen, when she goes famous, we're all getting the first one signed.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go on tour. I'm going to be
Okay, and we're gonna come. And McKenna, you're gonna come right back here to let us know how you're doing, right?
Oh
When
yeah,
you're famous,
you know it.
living in your high-rise apartment, sipping on Dom Perignon, yes. Meanwhile, we'll be over here
Oh my
drinking our
gosh.
Kirkland lunch.
All right, guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, that was McKenna Allen. Thank you for joining us and sharing your song Lucifer with us. Please, please come back again and keep on going. Please come again. Thank you.
I would
Love you,
love
honey.
to. Thank you so much for having me.
Yay!
Thank you so much,
So
girl.
excited.
All right, babe. Thank you. All right.
Love you.
You know, it's so awesome that you have a talented little sister like that, Courtney. Like, I had no idea I was going to be affected, you know, so much. I listened to it like,
I didn't know I was either. I didn't get to hear the full song, and I didn't know that she'd written it. I had no idea. It was unbeknownst to me.
Set up
and-
set us all up.
Seriously.
You know what?
Fine,
So,
I'm gonna just lose my.
Shit.
so
all
I
right.
have, like the quickest story. I have got 3 other sisters. Her and my littlest sister, she's the one that was born after me. She's the third sister. I'm the second. So her and my littlest sister, they work together, and they were out there working. And McKenna sends me a Snapchat, and it's of my baby sister Haley. She's crying, and she's just like, "I want to be able to sing like you."
Aww.
She's crying. It's the funniest thing. Haley's like, "I can't sing."
How do you do it? I could interview you, Courtney, for like 3 days on how you balance that many sisters. If my sister and I have an argument or a fight, you can hear volcanoes erupting in other parts of the world.
We don't fight.
Like it doesn't happen
Literally,
often.
none of us fight.
You have a bunch of you. This
Yeah.
earth. Imagine if it was just you and all the other personalities of your sister, or vice versa. Like
Every
just
single one of us is so incredibly different. Like we are so we are all so different.
Sometimes
So
I'm
very
like,
different.
if me and my sister had other sisters to balance out our like emotions, it would be super helpful. Like, but it's just us.
I don't
so.
think it, I don't know, because I have an older brother, and like, even now we're like, it's just as if we were kids, you know, we fight like over dumb shit, you know, we can get over it, you know. But anyways, we got to move on, because the first and foremost thing I want to talk about Ellen.
Oh
Yes,
have mercy.
we got to talk about Ellen real fast, because what we've been hearing just the last couple of months, that, you know, first, you know, BuzzFeed, they've been dropping tea. BuzzFeed first reported a couple of months ago that, you know, she's a mean boss. And then next thing you know, there's another BuzzFeed article about her having a toxic work environment. And they weren't blaming Ellen herself, really. They were blaming the head executive producers and some of the senior staff. And there's another article that just came out this week, I think last week, about furthermore allegations of sexual misconduct. And some of the people in this picture, the man in the middle with the glasses, this is I want to say what is his name? Ed Glavin. They are accusing him of a fear of intimidation. The man on the right next to the woman, that is I think that is Kevin Lemon. He's under sexual misconduct allegations, and so is the man next to him, and that's Jonathan Norman. And I'll just say that everyone's denying, you know, these allegations, but I just kind of want to go to the panel and see how they're reacting to this backstage drama, because we all know, you know, Ellen's like in one of the articles about the toxic work environment, they were saying Ellen's model "Be Kind" is all bullshit. So I
You know, I skipped through. I was clicking all the links, so I was like, I caught on to that one too.
I was reading all the tea. So Angelique, I'm gonna start with you with your reaction. Then we're gonna go to Steven, Courtney, then Nikki. Angelique, how are you reacting after hearing this? And you know, here's a question: They're saying that she's saying that she didn't know about this. She released an apology, I think last Thursday. Apology. I think it's a letter apologizing to her staff. Do you think she didn't know about this stuff? Is she telling the truth, or how do you feel just reacting in that last question?
I mean, honestly, the number one rule in Hollywood is deny, deny, deny. You know, you don't until you're caught, until somebody has like evidential proof that you were guilty, you never agree to being guilty. You don't ever admit to it unless you know you're an actual genuine human being, but can't really act for that, right? One of the things that I noted from the story, she claims that she didn't know, but everybody in the executive top line knew about it. Even the people who are like being accused and the people who are still working there all admit that they have heard something, but may not have known about it, like or may not have seen it themselves. But then you hear, like BuzzFeed, for instance, got 33 employees, previous employees, to come forward and tell their story. How is it that 33 people had the same story and talk about instances of public display of this person, this executive grabbing people's crotches, putting their arm around people, touching people, doing all kinds of stuff, and you're going to sit here and blatantly say that you never saw it? Or you never heard of it. Not that you never saw it, because I get it. When you're on stage, it's hard to see everything when you're in the light, but that's a stretch. But one thing I did want to note is that there was one employee who came forward about it, about the Be Kind method, about how it's practiced on screen but not off screen. She said that he experienced microaggressions. And one of the things she said is that one of the employees said like they felt like she was her spirit animal. And that I'm sorry, I only know the names of white people who work here. There was 2 black employees who had box braids, and they said, "Oh, I don't know how we're going to tell you 2 apart." These are different things that the producers are saying to these employees, people who worked there for over a year and a half, who did this from the time they were hired to the time that they left on their own accord. They were put in situations or put in positions where they felt like they're being mistreated or misused, or just being slapped across. And these are the women. Oh my God, the stories from the men who work there being sexually abused. This is like
way worse than what I've read. Like crazy, insane things. Sorry, but
go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
Perfect. Your time was perfect. You were perfect.
No, from this I've heard, just that it is way worse from the male standpoint, at least from the things that I read as well. And like, I'm sorry, like if you own this company, essentially, say, let's just call it like a bread making company. And you have like people on the line who are bagging bread coming to you saying, well, so-and-so is doing blah, blah, blah. And you're the owner and you're there all the time and you're overseeing all of this stuff, essentially. And like 2 people come to you, 2. I mean, 1 should be it. But if it gets repeated twice, like, why are you looking into this? And then you're going to say you didn't have any idea. I just don't buy it. I don't know. And maybe not. Maybe that is true. But like, I just think if these people work under you, for you, and you've created this show and jobs for all of them. If you don't know what's going on, and you don't know what's going on, but also nobody feels comfortable enough to go to you, that's an equally large problem. And it's bullshit. And that should not happen. Like the amount of people, what was it, like 47 at least that I read.
Right.
I think in total so far.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Right. That's insane. Nobody knew about this until now. Until this moment, that's insane to me. And it's ugh.
I'm a dig for laughing, but like, that's a lot of fucking people saying like fuck Ellen. So let's go to Courtney. Courtney, let's go to you. How are you reacting? And then
honestly, I was just like so incredibly shocked when I was reading all of this stuff. Like legit, I love watching Ellen. I love watching her bits. I love her interviews. I love the whole like feel of the show. All of this shit, like legit, like I fucking loved it. And then to see this, I'm like, bitch, you're ruining me. Like ruining me. Like it's so beyond disgusting. Like for like a couple people to come and say like, oh, these were like some things that had happened. It's a really big show. Okay, so maybe you didn't know about this because she is like the boss and she's famous and she's kind of like a big fucking deal. Maybe you didn't know about a couple of these things that kind of happened and maybe HR knew about it and they just wanted to say like, we don't tell Ellen because, whatever. But this many people, you cannot seriously tell me with this many people as high up in the company that they are, you can't seriously tell me that this, like, you just didn't know. Fucking lies. That's all fucking lies. Like, lies. You knew, bitch, you knew. And so, like, the first thing that popped into my head, and call me out if I'm wrong, but like, the first thing, I'm like trying to put myself into the situation. This is kind of how I am. Like, I put myself in the situation. Okay, like, so how do you think she would react? Like, a lot of things that I read were like male on male. And, excuse me, it's not the Rona. It's not. I'm just slowly killing myself. It's fine. But like, for me, like, a lot of this was like male on male, and she's very gay proud. She's a lesbian woman. Great, fine. But was she not like taking it as seriously because she only really interacts sexually with women? Was this like, oh, men,
That's a good point.
they can handle themselves, like men are men.
Wow.
Men handle themselves. Men do not take, you do not hear up until like very recently, you'd never heard about like men that were assaulted, men that were raped, men that were any of this. You don't hear about that. Men got so much pride and they're so strong and they can take care of themselves and they can handle this. Was this one of those things where it was just like, oh, it's fucking dudes do dudes, like, whatever, they can handle themselves, like, stop getting your panties in a bunch because you're a fucking man. Like, I mean, I'm speculating here. I'm not saying that's how she felt. I'm not saying that's how she felt. I'm saying that's like, in my head, putting myself in that situation, is that what she was thinking? Because I've heard a lot of people in totally different situations. Somebody says something like, you know, we're getting on a topic about sexual assault, and somebody mentioned something about a man. Oh, well, men can't be raped. Oh, no, yes, they can. Men can very well be taken advantage of. And it's like, men, I'm an esthetician. We talk about waxing men, and we talk about how when you wax them, it is very painful. It is incredibly painful, and it gets bloody. But men still get a boner when you touch them when they're waxing. It's not a pleasant situation. You're in a very awkward situation, but men can still get a boner in that situation. It's because of their reaction. Do I?
Yeah.
I said it's like a chemical reaction.
It is. Yeah. It's you. Men can't help it. Like, I mean, maybe you don't get all hot and bothered by it, but I don't have a penis. I don't know, but apparently, like, y'all bitches can't control it. Like, it's uncontrollable. It's like this uncontrollable thing. So, like, a lot of people think that, oh, men can't get raped. Yes, they can. Men can be assaulted. Absolutely. Men can be taken advantage of. Absolutely. Like,
I didn't mean to laugh at that last part, but like, you're right. You know, our members are very sensitive. But you know, just to say, most of these allegations didn't go as far as that. But like, it was basically they were trying to like rape them, you know. And like, one guy said they were
assaulting them.
Yeah, assaulting them. Yeah. One guy said he was groomed and shit like that, you know, with concert tickets. Yeah, but anyways, let's go to Steven. Steven, I know Steven has a lot to say.
Oh man, so many ways I could take this, but okay. So first of all, take a look at the people that Ellen spends the most time with. Like, she's got some very questionable people that are in her inner circle, and basically throughout all of quarantine, I started digging deeper on a certain theory that's running around the internet right now, and I'll start with this. The fact that Ellen's set is designed after Epstein's temple. We can start there. She also has been sending a whole bunch of like code messages to like Tom Hanks. Anyone that knows what's going on with Tom Hanks, that's a big problem. If you go on her Instagram, she shut off all of her comments because she's getting roasted for being a pedophile and torturing kids. So that's a place to start. So if you think that someone is involved or would do something like this, whether you believe it or not, I don't think she's a good person. I think she's really good at putting on a front. And I think that a lot of these allegations, I mean, you have this many people coming out against someone who's like this sensational of a star and like this much of a positive person. There's got to be something that's wrong there. But regardless of that, I think there's a much deeper aspect of what goes on behind the scenes with Ellen. And without getting too deep, like, she posted some pictures on her Instagram or like some videos that came up. She's got artwork in her house that represents like spirit cookings and like human sacrifices. And she's also got like these keys that were from a movie that two directors were filming about sex trafficking. And both of those directors ended up dead, and the movie never ended up completed. And there's a picture of her posted with these exact keys on the cover of this movie sitting in front of her on a table. So I could go on about this for like forever, but like she's a very, very, very questionable person, and I don't want to get too carried away. But yeah,
Right.
fuck Ellen.
No,
Fuck Ellen.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. My reaction, I didn't go that deep with it because, it's really hard to like say those allegations and even to like point those dots and make those connections without solid proof because like those are still like salacious allegations. We don't know if she's involved in those types of things because those people usually who are involved with type of things, we don't know. But from what I know, what I learned from Ashley, because she studies those types of crimes are it's kind of like a behavioral thing. Like you didn't just become, this person. You've always been this person. And I'm not to say this is not true, but like I don't want to draw conclusions with this because what I want to draw conclusions is what has been said about these other gay men that are producers at her show. Now, I can really say that, older gay men in that field will definitely take, advantage of someone who's young, especially if they feel their career is probably at stake because they probably did feel like that. That's something that was said in the article, especially, and it goes especially with is racial as well. Like, I don't know how Ellen can sit here and say she didn't really know about it, and I don't know if she's going to return to her show. I think because the apology she gave for me was really nothing, because she had to have known about these sexual misconduct allegations coming out too. She had to have known. I think she needs to go back and really, really restructure her show and fix it. Because if what Steven says could be true, then remove yourself from those people, especially these people that are working at the production company in the office, because they did say she wasn't around all the time. But these people in the production office are doing these things, and now it's coming to light. Then let's fix it, because then we can cancel Ellen too. Because I love Ellen, but
she's already canceled.
Yeah, we can do without Ellen, because how dare you come up here and say be kind, and also she represents the gay community as well. And then first she's like a bitch, and then also as well, you're allowing people, even people from our community and the Black community, another highly marginalized community, after winning the Medal of Freedom from Obama. You didn't know about this and you didn't step in before someone, came out with this to the public. Come on, Ellen. Let's say be better. Be better, because what we're hearing from you, like, I'm a big fan, but what I'm hearing from you, I'm highly disappointed. Be better. And we're going to move on to the next topic.
Fan because we thought she was something else. And if she's not, then she needs to go.
She's a pedophile.
Cancel.
Can I just say one thing real quick? It just popped into my head. So I used to watch Ellen all the time. It's after what Steven said. She used to always do these bits with the children, bringing the children on, all of this stuff. She would always seek out like children that were super cute, children that were getting famous. Like,
and at the Grammys, there's a video of her with a box of pizza, handing it out to all the people in Hollywood, and they're like laughing and making jokes about it. And you can see people's body language when she's just like passing out pizza. If anyone knows what that means. Yeah,
we'll get into that one. We'll get into all of that later, because I got a lot. We all have a lot to say about the Pizzagate scandal and the Wayfairgate scandal. We'll get into that. Let's go on to our next topic.
That's the whole episode, homie.
That's the
whole episode.
Definitely. So wait, the next topic we're gonna get on is monogamy, because like Steven was talking to me about a book he's reading. It's called Sex at Dawn. You said yes. I'm good at that. So he was asking, we were talking about ideas.
I'm good at that. I literally just got that. You just slid that right in there.
So really fast, because we're running out of time. So one thing that we're talking about is like monogamy. Is it a natural thing with human beings, or is it a societal thing? Is it something that we're kind of born in our DNA, or is it something that we're being taught in society? That's the question, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Just like why the main argument that the book presents is, if monogamy is so natural, why is it so hard for everyone to do? And why does it require so much legal protection?
What's your stance on it, Steven? How do you feel? Is it
I
like
don't. If this is coming from, so I was almost married before, and I was also heavily involved in like Christianity and whatnot. And I used to think that like monogamy was natural, and like you pick one person, and that's like all you're supposed to do. But my mind has expanded since then, and I think that to limit yourself to one person is extremely detrimental to your future. I think that you can build up an entire relationship. You could have 30 or 40-year marriage. You could have all this trust, and your entire life could crumble and end in that marriage with one mistake, an impulsive mistake because you were too horny, you hooked up with someone, your wife hooked up with someone, something along the lines of that. And we spend so much of our lives like suppressing who we are sexually while we're with someone else. And when you suppress who you are and you hold that back, that's when impulses and urges come up later on in your life. So I think that having one main partner might be a good idea, but also still being allowed to explore your sexuality on the outside of that partner is super important. Sorry, there's a lot of points. I'm all over the place on that.
No, I mean, well, I'll just take the floor. No, I like what you said, but I think that it's even in what you said, it's still putting yourself in a box. If we're going to talk about it that way, I mean, really, when you get in a relationship with somebody and you're planning to spend your life with somebody in the sense of monogamy, there's a portion of it that you have to have this discussion about what you're interested in. And technically, before you get serious, like before you plan a life with somebody, you should have had the discussion about your sexual interests, your inhibitions, the things that you're scared of, the things that you're hopeful for. It should be on the table as a discussion. For me personally, I've had relationships that were open, that were where we could have our fun and do our thing. I've done long distance, I've done short distance, I've done the whole 9 yards. And what I've learned in trying all these wonderful things is that at the end of the day, if you and the person you're with aren't secure with each other, nothing you do is going to keep you together. The reality of the factor is that if I do decide to have an open relationship, if I do decide to be not monogamous and go sleep with other people and explore myself sexually somewhere else, I'm always going to find an attraction to someone else that's stronger, because the connection we have in one little thing is going to outweigh the connection I have with that one person. So in reality, when we're in these situations, you have to ask yourself if the person you're claiming to be monogamous with is really the person for you. Sometimes the friendship is so strong or the connection is so strong on one level, we tend to like blindside ourselves to the other things. But one thing I will never do again is ever be in a sexless relationship. One thing I will never do again is ever be in a relationship where I'm not openly admitted about what I sexually desire and like. And I will never let a partner come into my life and tell me that they love something so much that I'm not willing to try it, experience it, or grow with them. In a monogamy terms, which I love and I'm for, I want to be with somebody who is willing to tell me about their foot fetish. They're wanting me to be tied up in bondage. If you want me to wear latex, if you want me to wear cute little schoolgirl outfits, if that's your kitchen, I want you to feel safe with me. You should feel comfortable enough to me to admit what you like and what you love. If you like to bite me so hard that I bleed a little bit, as long as you don't kill my ass, we're good. I'm open to that because I've tried all these different avenues. I've done all these different things. And as somebody who's a trans woman, going from being a completely well, actually, I was straight at one point in time. I dated women, had sex with women. I lost my virginity at 13. And then I went into being a gay man, and that was like a whole thing. And now I'm going into being a woman. I have literally, I don't think there's a playing field I haven't touched. And what I haven't touched, I'm never going to say no to. Like I told you guys from the beginning, I think it was my first episode, I try everything twice because I want to make sure, because sometimes the person you try with is not the right person. Sometimes you need to try with a person who's experienced, who knows what they're doing, who knows what they're saying. And so if I have this with one person and we can connect on that level and kind of have these conversations openly and not feel rejected, I think if anything, society puts a pressure on us to appease our partner so much that we forget to please ourselves. And I'll end on that.
Just the touch, just to add on a little bit more, I don't want to make it sound like I'm completely against monogamy. I'm just thinking more so in the sense of every other option should also be equally as important. And the idea that monogamy is so heavily ingrained into our society, and having a wife and buying a house and like that whole dream of like just having one person, I think that that's just something that should be rethought as not the way to go.
In that sense, I completely agree with you. I think that the structure that it's built upon is built on something worse. I believe in the tooth fairy more than I believe in the house that monogamy was built on. Like, honestly.
Courtney, let's go to you. Courtney, how do you feel?
Well, I am the only person on this channel that is married with 2 kids. So, I mean, I think we all know where I stand. If I didn't, Kyle would know right now. Just kidding. which is not the case. I mean, I'm making jokes here. I'm making jokes. All for laughs. All for laughs. But no, like, I see where Stephen is coming from. I get that. But so, like, Kyle and I, we got together and we were serious. And by serious, I mean I was pregnant at 2 months. So I mean, for the both of us, it just kind of like, I don't know, we had this connection, and it was like this like undeniable like thing. Even though he was coming out of a marriage, I was coming out of a really, really, really dark place in my life. And I mean, neither one of us really expected to be in a relationship, and neither one of us really thought that we were ready for a relationship, and it just kind of happened. And by happened, I mean I was pregnant. So we decided that like we were going to try to make it work without really, honestly, we didn't really know each other. And we've been together for 9 years now. We've been married for 8. We spent all this time like getting to know each other and like learning these new things about each other. I mean, I still learn things about him all the time, and which is fine. I mean, and sexually, like we have grown a lot. Like I don't have a boring sex life at all. Like we all know what his nickname is, and you know, just saying. But he is so open to like anything that like I want to try. Granted, he might have tried it twice and not 3 times, but you know what? We got there. We figured it out. But, I mean, and he's like, I'm open to trying things for him. Like, I know what he likes. Like, he knows what I like. Every so often, because it is such a task, he's super into pinup. So every so often, I will do the whole pinup thing. And I mean, it totally fucks my hair up, and it takes me forever, and it's frustrating, and it's exhausting, and I am just like so over it.
Wait, what's a pinup thing?
Wait,
Pinup. Like 50
like the pinup look, like she dresses, does her hair, her makeup, her outfit,
look. Like well, it's not really Marilyn Monroe. It's kind of like Betty Boop.
Yeah.
Betty
So
Boop.
we know what's going on tonight, like with that hair, like with that.
Halloween. The first Halloween at Dr. Barbecue, you wore like a fit. I remember because I was like, oh my God, she's the cutest thing ever.
That was
And then
like
we had a
that was
conversation
a very
about
like conservative pinup. Like
you were the cute, but that's like you were the cutest. I can see you totally rocking that look.
Nikki, let's go to you. How do you feel? Is it nature or is it society? How are you feeling?
I honestly feel like it's up to you. It's up to you and the person that you want to be with or the person that you're seeking. Like, yeah, some people just don't want anything to do with monogamy. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And that's fine. And there's a lot of people who really want that deep, lifelong connection. And they strive for it and they find it or they don't. But, you know, I really feel like it's a matter of preference. Like before I met my boyfriend, Sean, not Sean Nicholas, but another Sean. That's great, Sean. Before I was like ready to be done and just kind of, you know, just see what happened. I was not looking, and I met him under just very funny circumstances. It was my cousin's wedding. Now, granted, he lived in Florida. She lived in California. I lived in Massachusetts.
I never heard this.
Yeah, we met in California at my cousin's wedding. And we met in, it was September. And then the next time I saw him was January of 2017. And that, well, it was 2000, whatever. It was like a year after that. So then we saw each other just on and off over the next like year and a half. And it became very clear that we wanted to be together. And I moved here because I have dated people. I have dated people of a certain caliber who are shitty, we'll just say. And I'm fine. Like, if you want an open relationship, that's fine. Be honest about it. Because I had a lot of boyfriends who just didn't think they needed to disclose that to me. And on top of that, we're just mean friggin' assholes who decided they needed a small brunette punching bag.
Just put it out there. Like let them tell them how big of an asshole they are. Just let it out there.
You know what? I would if I thought that they were listening at all, but they're not. But just in case. But they're not. They know. Believe me.
You're in a better place.
Assholes, and they know, and that's not even the thing, you know. But the point is, be honest. Just be honest about what you want. And in my case, I did want that like a lifelong connection. Like I do want somebody to like grow with and learn new things with and feel safe with and try out new things. I wanted that comfort level too, like somebody that you come home to at the end of the day that you love more than anything and that just makes you smile even when you're having the crappiest day or the crappiest week or a month. I sound like a Friends song. That's
No, that's like the reality of it. Like, yeah, absolutely agree.
I've never had it. I've never had what I have with Sean with anyone else in my entire life, and I never expected to. So for me, it's I don't judge anybody who wants to just be like, no, screw monogamy. That's not for me. It's not for me to like promise myself to one person. Go be you, do you like live your life. That's awesome. It's really all about like being happy and finding your happiness. And number one, you can't be happy with anyone unless you're happy with yourself. Amen. So that's a great determination as to what direction you're going to go in, and whatever makes you happy, do it. But if somebody does make you happy, don't be afraid to grab onto them and stay with them because they are rare.
Right, to jump on that, like I'm on the fence because I really feel like, you know, one day you'll find someone that you want to spend like I'm gonna say 10 to 20 years with, and then you know you kind of want to either keep that relationship open or because I don't know how I'm gonna feel now because I'm 30. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna feel like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Like, do I want to stay with the same person? This subject kind of opens up a lot for me because I grew up thinking, you know, you're supposed to get married, you know, to a woman, and now we get married to a man. But I do want that like stability in that relationship, you know, that factor in my life. But at the same time, you know, I've learned that the world isn't what was sold to us as children, you know, like it's not like not every marriage is the same, you know, not every relationship or whatever, it's not all the same. They don't all start the same. And like, you know, even Courtney, you know, she's like basically said, we took a risk to see how things happen and look where they are now, you know? So there's no like one way to live life. I think that's one thing that we can.
Yes.
Right.
Don't put yourself in a box is really the biggest thing. I think whatever makes you happy. I think we as humans beat ourselves up for not being happy with the general status quo. And when something outside that box makes us happy or something outside the box that other people expect of us personally, we like balk from it and want to turn away. But really, if it makes you feel good and it makes you happy and that's what you want, screw everybody else and screw the norm. Just do what you want to do.
Agreed.
All right.
Agreed.
Real quick, Stephen had said something about I think you said something about like the relationships and like the partners. Oh God, I wish I could remember. I had it before Nicole, but Nicole just blew my mind right now because she just said something that caught my heart. I got it. Caught my heart. But you were talking about it and like just the way it was proposed. I think I wanted to say something along the lines of like when you're in a relationship with somebody, I think societal norms tend to pull us out of our comfort zones. So we might be comfortable at home, you know, what you watch, like for instance, like our porn choices, what we watch for our porn choices are totally different than what we'll sit down next to somebody and watch. So I think in that idea, like societal norms, we tend to fucking go left. We don't want to stay with what we have, but I feel like sometimes we curb our enthusiasm or we curb our hunger, what we want, what we desire, and we give people what we think they want, not what we want ourselves. So I think that kind of comes into play with a lot of times in how we react to relationships in themselves. But relationships are built on so much more. Like there's so many layers. And I think that as somebody, like for me personally, like I'm eventually going to have my surgery. When I have my surgery, I won't be able to give the person I'm with what they want. So if I can't offer that to you, but we have 90% of the puzzle piece, why would I throw away everything on this little thing? If there's something that you can't, that I know for a fact I can't give you, I want you to have that. If I love you, if I'm with you, if I'm completely, like Nicole said, like if I found somebody who makes me happy in every single way possible, I'm not going to throw that away to give someone the opportunity to take that and have everything that I wanted and then some. Like, I would rather talk to you, have a conversation, and be like, look, this is what I bring to the table. This is what you bring to the table. This is what I need to be happy. This is what you need to be happy. If you need to have a random fling, if we got to go to the strip club and find you a homegirl, I'm okay with that. I just want to watch.
I wouldn't. At the moment, I wouldn't be okay with that. Like, I wouldn't want to have an open relationship because one, that like, not that I am kind of jealous, but I'm not jealous to the point where we're at the club and like you're talking to my boyfriend. I'm gonna like, throw a tantrum. No, but I wouldn't want.
I love it. I'm kind of like right between. But
yeah, because Nikki mentioned earlier, she's like, not all guys will tell you that they're having extracurricular activities, and it's not always your choice as well. So we kind of like, been damaged a little bit by American society. Well, the true American society. Because if you ever watch Maury or Jerry Springer or Montel, like they're always cheating. Ricky Lake, bitches are always cheating. I'm like, we are in the 21st century. Don't y'all know this shit ain't gonna work? They're gonna find out how to get into. You know what? There's a story. This dude, he told me that his girlfriend waited till waited till he was asleep.
No, I can't.
Because now they have like the fingerprint, right? She waited for this.
She used
He was like this, and this girl came in. She was like,
no,
and he wakes up, and she's literally like sitting there reading all the shit. And I'm like, see, I don't.
First of all, why would she stay there so that she could wake up and see that?
She was probably
still reading. If you're going to go through the process of unlocking his phone like that, you need to fucking walk away. Like,
I don't mean now,
go crazy, not half.
What? That would be me. That bitch. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna hide. We gonna have a conversation right here. Who is bitch? Tell me about her. I want to know.
Okay, she knows something going on, bitch. I'll be like this too. I'll be like sneaking the fucking. I'll be like,
but I'm like such a.
and be reading this shit too, just like they're like in the dark. Hold on, let me turn the light on. Just like in the dark, bitch, reading.
Hiding out.
I'll tell you, like, I ain't gonna lie.
Just tell me. I would rather have a conversation. Be like, look, this girl hit on me at work. She's been flirting, whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, what she look like? Let me see. And I look and I'll be like, all right, that bitch don't look better than me. All right, yeah, go ahead, flirt, whatever, dude. I'll be like, you're going to come home to me. That's my end. At the end of the day, in a monogamous relationship, I want to know that the trust is so strong that you're going to always pick me. I just need to know that. If I know that you're always going to pick me.
That's it. Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
Wow.
I think the biggest takeaway is like that from like what everybody said here, like including Steven, because I'm sorry you were a little outnumbered. But like I think the biggest takeaway was that like you just have to be honest, and not just like with each other, but you really have to be honest with yourself. Like you can't conform yourself to what you think that society thinks that you should be, or that what the person that you're with thinks you should be, or that what your family, your church, your friends, whoever, like you need to be yourself. You need to be honest. And especially like, I understand putting on a face in front of everybody else because sometimes you don't want to divulge some of your personal stuff. Like I understand that sometimes it's just like, I'm not going to tell you what's going on in my life because I don't want to get into it, or I just don't trust you. Like, that's fine. But like with the person that you're with, you need to be honest with them, because if you're not being fulfilled, you're not actually going to be like happy the way that you need to be happy to stick in that relationship and to stay true to yourself. Because like we all have our values, and like if we have values to be with somebody and to not cheat and to not be doing extracurriculars and doing all this other shit, like you have to be honest with them, because they're never going to know. Because from a woman's standpoint, men aren't mind readers, and honestly you could Barney style it for them and they will still fuck it up. You need to like break it down so simple and constantly like tell them like I don't like that.
At the end of
like that. Like
Steven,
I got a few things, but I'll keep it short. So another it was great hearing all this, because it's nice to hear all these perspectives as my mind has been like shifting into like this non-monogamy style thinking. So one of the big things that it plays off of a lot in this book is it talks about these societies that like still exist nowadays. And in these societies, women are so highly valued and their sexuality is so free and so openly expressed, and they have no one controlling like what they say and do with their bodies. And there's like all these cultures and communities of like hundreds of people that like live together in these like small cities, and there's like hundreds and hundreds of like little interactions between people that live in this village, and they're all like having sex with each other. They all take turns, they share each other. Women are just like openly like letting themselves do that, and it's one of the most coercive, like well working, like sharing environments and like communities that's ever been reported. And like another thing that it plays off of too is that we're more biologically like bonobos than we are like chimps. So we've always played off that human beings are like chimps, but in reality we're more like bonobos biologically. I just said that in a loop. But so bonobos basically just sit around and they have sex with each other pretty much all day long in groups, and they do all these things, they share things with each other, and they are so peaceful and so well behaved. And like there's so much more that goes in depth on this, but it's just an interesting perspective that when women's sexuality isn't being like pushed down by someone else, and people are just openly and freely getting to explore their sexuality on a regular basis, how much more and how different that affects their environment, as opposed to us living in a society where we have one person, we're repressing our sexuality, so on and so forth.
I love
Right.
it.
There's so
Anybody
much
else before we end up? We're gonna because we ran out of time. We don't have time to react to like Tampa, but
I'm just gonna say that I don't think that women should be slut shamed anymore.
Ever.
Listen,
Bitch, I'm not
people do
bad.
what they want to do. People do what they feel like. Listen, some women, not myself excluded, have used sex as like a drug, like for like a coping mechanism. So instead of me going and shooting myself up with heroin and like basically killing myself,
Absolutely.
I did something else. I mean, it was just
Same.
like, how can you sit there and be like, oh, like this person who does drugs, oh, they need rehab, oh, bless their heart, oh, poor me. But this woman who slept with like 10 people, 20 people, 30, 40, 50, 60, 600 people, oh, she's such a slut, oh, God, gross. Get the fuck out of here. Go home.
and it, you know, it beats like, you know, sneaking up at night trying to like break into someone's phone while they're asleep. Like I can just see this girl doing this shit, just sneaking in like all slow and shit, just like coming in and just like taking his finger and just like
That's so
if you're smart, you already know the password.
That part.
hello. You know, we can go into this. We can go into this, but we're not. So guys, thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you to Mckenna Allen for sharing her talent with us. It really, yeah, right. She moved us.
Thank you, Mckenna. Oh my God.
And thank you guys for joining us again. I'm Sean Nicholas, aka Desire Some More. Next to me, we have Nikki Prue. Next to her, we have Courtney Harbaugh. On the bottom of me, I have Stephen Galebreath of the Air Fresheners, and also Angelique Young. This is Common Courtesy, guys. See you later. Bye.